Well, today the government released the mid-year economic and fiscal outlook, and as I outlined earlier, it's pretty depressing reading. It shows a $58.3 billion surge in government spending this financial year, and the budget deficit projected to be almost $22 billion worse than forecast back in May over the forward estimates. Here was Jim Chalmers today.
But overall, when you look at those underlying cash balances, they get a little bit better over time.
Shadow Treasurer Angus Taylor joins me now from Canberra. Angus, thank you for your time. $58.3 billion, as we know. The RBA has said multiple times that one of the biggest drivers of inflation is government spending. There seems to be very little effort here to rein it in.
That's exactly right. Australians ultimately foot the bill, and the bill was laid out today. The bill that will be imposed on Australians if we get another 3 years of Labor, and the bill that they've already racked up. So what you actually saw at the heart of this statement today was over the coming 4 years, $233 billion of headline deficits. That's over $23,000 for every Australian family. And make no mistake about it, Caleb, that has to be paid. It's either paid by taxes down the track or, in the current circumstances, by inflation in a more immediate way. I mean, this is what causes inflation. And if you want to get inflation down to a sustainable level and bring interest rates down with it, you have to contain the growth in government spending. And this is a complete fail. Look, the only thing this Treasurer does more than spin is spend, and that's exactly what we saw today.
Well, it's the biggest increase in spending outside of COVID, as I said earlier, more than 5%, which is just extraordinary. But of course, Chalmers is trying to say, well, a lot of this was just unavoidable spending, indexation on the pension, etc. Was this spending unavoidable?
Well, this is a Treasurer who looks for excuses wherever he can find it. So if you go back, he started by blaming the inflation crisis and the economic challenges we have on Vladimir Putin. More recently, he's been blaming it on Donald Trump, on President Xi of China. On the weekend, a little while back, he was talking about veterans and it was all their fault. Now he was saying, I can't help it. I can't help it. He's like someone who drinks too much going to the fridge. I can't help it. But the truth is that those automatic increases in payments come from Labor's homegrown inflation and their record levels of immigration. That's what drives a lot of these numbers, as well as their spending decisions. And of course, that's what's driving this budget over a cliff, just as they've already driven the economy over a cliff, the biggest hit to household disposable incomes in our history and much higher than any other peer country. And Australians are paying a price for all of this.
And this business, he goes on today, look, there's slow economic growth, but there's economic growth and there's real growth in wages. Well, as I said earlier, I don't think most people sitting at home tonight would be looking at their pay packet and going, well, I feel like my wages are actually growing. We know that household spending has gone backward. GDP per capita has gone backward for 7 straight quarters. He won't say we're in a recession, but we are in a recession.